Hello everyone, Osbrah here, and today for the market review, the market outlook of the week, we're going to talk about macro, geopolitics, and then technical analysis. So we're going to start with macro and geopolitics. Obviously, this week you want to pay attention to a few things. At the end of the week, on Friday, we're going to have the CPI and PMI. These are the major US inflation indicators. It's super important because next week we're going to have the FOMC meeting and the Federal Reserve pays a lot of attention to inflation indicators to then reassess its monetary policy. Nonetheless, we are expecting the Federal Reserve, led by Jerome Powell, to cut interest rates by 25 basis points on Wednesday next week, right? So pay a lot of attention to the Friday data that's going to be released. It's going to be super important, and of course, if it's super important, it means the market will react aggressively and it might be very volatile. So be careful, stay cautious, and manage your trades very carefully. On the geopolitical side, we are still waiting for the US and China to reach an agreement regarding the tariff. Remember, Trump threatened to increase tariff by 155% against China products if they don't reach a deal before November 1st. So we still have 10 days left, and they're gonna meet. I mean, Trump and the Chinese leader Xi Jinping are gonna meet next week in South Korea to talk about that agreement. Pay a lot of attention because remember, this is what caused the market to crash and print a historical event on Friday, October 10th. Right? So pay a lot of attention to Trump post on his social media, Trump socials, right? Also, something important, we have the US government that is still shut down, but officials said they are confident that they might agree on a budget and reopen this week. It means we're gonna have labor market data being released again and inflation data being released again. So expect the US government to open again before Friday, right? Last but not least, next week as well, we're gonna have the Bank of Japan releasing its monetary policy statement right after the Federal Reserve. Right, now we can jump straight into technical analysis, and as usual, we're gonna start with Bitcoin. So as you can see here, guys, Bitcoin just retested 107, but you can see right here, and then had a massive push during today's US session. The most important now will be to reclaim and to keep that value area low around 110.5 in order to target logically the value area high around 120k. Once we flip and we confirm that we are flipping that resistance, we can talk about 123k, which is the range high, right? So we have good support here. We want to see these are reacting as a support as well, and we have these two levels of resistance. Now we're going to move to Ethereum. So as you can see, guys, we are holding that support as well on ETH. Okay, just here we're holding that support, and the next condition, in my opinion, to get more upside is to reclaim the 4,000 level. Then we can logically and naturally expect that supply to be retested, which is also the previous mid-range, and then obviously the range high. Once we clear this big wall, then we can eventually talk about a new all-time high, but for now, let's play level by level and focus on what we have. Regarding the altcoins market, it's still in tough conditions because some altcoins are barely moving, some altcoins are having an insane rally, so you have to cherry pick depending on the narrative, depending on the community, on the hype, etc. You have to cherry pick the altcoins that you want to invest in, that you want to long during this Bitcoin rally. However, as you can see, total 3, as a reminder, this is the crypto market cap excluding BTC and Ethereum. We are still above the mid-range, which is a good thing. After the liquidation event on Friday, October 10, we managed to get back above, and then we had a successful retest right here. But still, this is acting as a support, yep, but still, we're having that massive resistance, as you can see here. Every time we got there, we rejected quite harsh. And this is, by the way, the 2021 cycle top. So you have the levels of support where you want to start building some exposure to altcoins, and you have the massive resistance right here where you want to take profits or reduce your exposure or even going risk off. We're gonna end this market review talking about S&P. Obviously, S&P is leading the stock market. It's the major index in the world, right? So you want to follow it very, very closely. For now, it's at resistance, but so far it's looking quite good. It looks like it's trying to consolidate below resistance. So you know the deal, guys. If it does happen, then we might flip that resistance, print a new all-time high, and then continue to trend higher. That would obviously be very good for crypto, because there is that correlation still between the crypto market and S&P 500. However, if we reject from here and we pull back from here, then I'm expecting this to be a support. For now, it's been acting as a key support for S&P. So you want to see that level holding. Otherwise, things might be very bad. All right, if you lose that level, you would change the structure, you would enter in a downtrend, and this is not really what you want to see as an investor, right? So pay attention to it. If you're willing to short, it's a good level, but I'm not really recommending it for now. We have momentum, right? So look for confirmations if you want to short anything, and if you want to position yourself again, remember this is our support, or you want to wait for a flip and a retest of that supply that could turn into a breaker block, right? So this is it for this week video market analysis. Remember that you have a blog post that you can find on the CFT Academy Twitter account, X account, sorry. And until then, so next week, stay safe, take care, and see you later, guys. Cheers.